All right, hello and welcome. I am Stooge, and today we are going to be continuing the Great Ace Attorney. Give me a moment while I make sure my now live notification got out on my Discord, which you can join here, and then we will get started. How is everybody today? There we go. And there we are. Really got to figure out why. Oh, it didn't do it that time, or the last couple of times. That's good. For some reason, the bot that notifies when the stream is done on YouTube, for whatever reason. Oh, I don't. Yeah, that's fine. I disconnected that. That's fine. Okay. But it often triggers twice, and I don't know why. All right, give me a moment while I bring up the game now. How is everybody? I have played so many different games. Since I last played The Great Ace Attorney. Checking for DLC. Alright. Continue. Yes. Clouded Kokoro. I am so... Alright. Isn't that right? Oops. I walked right into this, didn't I? Alright, you see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat, marry me, Pat. Aren't they already married? So, perhaps the lady and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions? Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? So, to catch everybody up on what was going on. Hello, Pokey. So, somehow, our bookish, let me switch over here. Our bookish Natsume, who's 33, I totally missed that before. He's 33 years old. He somehow jumped over a 2-meter wide gap in the street on an icy, snowy day, according to the prosecution. I don't know how that works. Pokey, you have any ideas how that works? Also, the English language has drastically upset me today. Because there are two common spellings of defense. DEFNCE, which is how the British do it, or DEFENSE. DEFENSC, which is how the US does it. Google prefers the British spelling, and OBS prefers the English spelling. Talk about annoying. But so the defendant somehow managed to jump a 2-meter wide hold on an icy, snowy day. And yeah, he's actually the Japanese champion in long jumping. It'll be revealed after the trial. Somehow I doubt that, Pokey. Mostly because this predates the modern Olympics, which I believe first held in like 1899 or something like that. Oh, 1896. I'm sorry, I was a few years off. but still predates, or this still predates 1896, based on the preponderance of evidence that we have. Or is the decision you have made to make it all too apparent already? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. Yeah, but he's actually also a time traveler from the Olympics, from when the Olympics were actually a thing. And somehow managed to get in good enough with the Japanese government to get sent over here to study to study English literature, which is a field of study he's already very well versed in, and he just wanted a reason to buy first editions of everything. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. I don't know how we can fight back. I mean, we have this, I suppose, which we know where this came from. So it would be absolutely hilarious. Unfortunately, we don't have. Well, we do have her here, and we. What's funny is we could say that she stabbed him in the back for stealing his book. Or yeah, she stabbed her, Miss Olive Green, in the back for stealing Mr. Garibeb's book. That's totally what happened. Okay, give me a moment. I have way too much stuff on my desk. I really need to take care of some stuff.
Think, Rionusk. Oopsie.
Think, what the hell's going on here? Think, Ryunosuke, think. That's still too much echo. What the fuck has happened? All right, give me a moment. I need to figure something out. What? Is that closed? No, it's not. There it is. For some reason, the Go XLR is... All right, so now I've got to test various things. I think this is the one I went with before. Or it might have been this. All right. This? I think we'll go with this one. All right. Now we can do it. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? All right, so do we raise an objection or wait and see? This is the question. Generally speaking, waiting and seeing is not great. So I'm going to do a quick save. Sadly, they don't have an F5 or F6 for quick save. Raise your hand if you remember those days. And so I think we're going to raise an objection. No, what? That was supposed to be a... I don't know why it didn't, like, move when I... Oh, there we go. Raise objection.
Objection.
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend. It's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. I'm sorry, I wholeheartedly disagree. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say! If I may, Lord Van Zykes. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Humph. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, well, that's the one thing that always upset me with a lot of the quick save features. Quick save, quick load features is that they put the two keys right next to one another. I believe it's Fallout 1, where quick save is F5 and quick load is F6. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Pokey. The quick save and quick load features are nice. But if you put the keys right next to one another, I mean F5 and F7 would be superior. It's just having the keys right next to one another that is the real problem, which is often what they did. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Miss Susato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? I mean, yeah, it's new evidence. Of course it warrants further examination. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Miss Susato.
Oopsie.
This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case, and has hitherto been overlooked. Das Buch.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from this. The question evidence is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. You haven't given anybody the option or the ability to attach significance to it, my dear Zykes. Yikes. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. No, don't. Fight back. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. Will you identify the clue at once? Do I make myself clear? Did I misread that? You, counsel, you will identify this clue at once. Oh, yes, my lord. It's, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid thorough examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track. I don't think there was any way that we could further examine it other than just clicking on this and showing the burn. Yeah, we can't open it. Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals?
Got it!
Got it! Why does he have a British accent? I would ask the court to observe the back of this book, of the book in question. Let me turn this up a little bit. It's a bit quiet. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It's undeniable, an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh. Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us all. What proof does this charred book hide? A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours at once. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage of this sorry tome has suffered? Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals the startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. I'm sorry. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has a very credible answers. And here they're using the British spelling, which is actually fitting, considering that this, particular story is taking place in Britain. Good gracious, how can you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. To a certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence of some kind, or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for the jury in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house? I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at the almost exactly at the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good Lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. We don't read these because we've already seen them. You can go back into the archive if you want. If it's not available on Twitch, you can subscribe to me on YouTube and find it there. And if you want a better odds of being seen if you're watching on YouTube when I'm streaming, you can follow me on Twitch. The Lion's Pride? By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh dearie me, oh dear me. This risible. This is risible. Okay, I don't know that word. Hold on. Once more. such as to provoke laughter. Wow, is that really the example that you're going to go with, Google? Or is that the example that they use in Oxford Dictionary? Do you find my accent All right, give me a moment. It's gonna, but the example that they give, such as to provoke laughter, a risible scene of lovemaking in a tent. That is the example that that either Oxford or Google has decided to choose for the use of risible in a sentence. Wow. The word is in Monty Python's Life of Brian, if I recall. I will be honest, I find Life of Brian to be the least of the Monty Python movies. Not a particular fan of it. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Raleigh? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. Says the guy that's constantly being choked by her. Whether intentionally or un. I had all my favorite old novels. Okay. The man had his back up against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no repair to the Garadeb's window pane being broken. Who said the window was closed? That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garadeb household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and not even remotely? Because it was so cold. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Well, Meaning of Life is more just a bunch of skits put together. Yes, I will allow that. Ah. But not particularly good skits. Some of them are good. Does the defense postulate the scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Oh, wait, did I not read something? No, I didn't. I said, ah. I said, oh! Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadeb's wife? I believe it's a possibility, my lord. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. No one said that it set the whole neighborhood alight. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case. Not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Oh, here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting about his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person could possibly stab the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache as he ran away from the scene, too. And he ran away from the scene, too. I do declare you're right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Sorry, what's that? Oh, whoops. Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. In which two members of the jury should not even be in the jury. What is your position, Lord Van Zykes? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time? that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, he's Irish. Oh my god. Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Mr. Sato, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting. Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. Humph. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeves? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. You know what would be amazing? Yes, I will save my current progress. Would be if they somehow tried to draw a line directly between Ryunosuke and Phoenix Wright. Like Ryunosuke trained trained the lawyer that trained the lawyer that trained Mia that trained Phoenix. Who trained Phoenix? And extremely far-fetched. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. They don't have the same surname, Pokey. Unless Ryunosuke means right in Japanese. But the only place I've seen right is on the they do in Japanese. Well, that's great, but that's not what I got. Oh, Naruhodo. Right. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Which, and the more you ride. Oh, I put Naruhodo, not Naruhodo. Naruhodo means the more you ride, apparently. Naruhodo is I see. But no, I did not know that they had the same surname in Japanese, in the Japanese of the games. Yeah, the game's in Japanese. There we go. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? But we don't know whether the window was closed. Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. I'm sorry, I can't do an Irish accent. Moira. Look, even if look, I just want to get this over with. Yeah, no. I can't say Moira without an Irish accent, but I can't use that to get into this. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tidy bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all the members of the jury this time around. Give me a moment, I gotta take a look at stuff that Strega sent me. All right. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. So, my opinion, or my theory about what happened, is this. Joan, Mrs. Garrideb, was hurling books at Mr. Garrideb, and at some point ended up throwing the knife. And what somehow happened, unintentionally, was that when she threw Lion's Pride into it fell, the victim, Miss Olive, or Miss Green, I should say, because her name is Olive Green, bent over God, they couldn't even spell pigeon right. Can you take care of that, Pokey? But while bending over to pick up the Lion's Pride, which has just landed on the ground in front of her, so they didn't miss Olive? No, sadly they didn't miss Olive. The knife actually managed to stab her in the back. I feel like that is either that particular stupid name is based on We Rate Dogs, or yeah. But anyways, I think that's what happened. I think that the victim, one Miss Olive Green, was inadvertently stabbed in the back by Joan, who hurled this knife at her. Well, not at her, but it ended up hitting her as she bent over. Though the question still remains, what happened to the tip? Oopsie stabby. Exactly. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto, just at the tip. A small piece of blade appears to be missing. You're right. Well spotted, Mr. Sato. I wonder what could have happened to it. Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful. Just a bit. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. But that's only a theory. And I still think that the old man is the man that that fell, that Natsume saw fall. But I could be wrong about that. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? I just presented the only tangible explanation. Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking it might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke. Focus your mind now. Clearly, the key is to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid, or should I say, Mrs. Garrideb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garrideb's house on that evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learnt in my short career so far, whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garrideb and how she reacts, even to things other people say. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. All right, let's take a look. Let's double check that book and see if there's anything else I can possibly do with it. Let me see it. The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know it. Yep. Wait a minute. Yep. We've seen this yesterday. We can't open it, so that sucks. I guess it'd be too easy if it said property of John Garrideb on the interior. Alright, let's see what she has to say. Alright, let's go on and impress her. So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. That's great. If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? Yes, rational. You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? No. No, I would not say. Would you say? Or would Twitch say? Would YouTube say? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. I disagree. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say? No. Overwhelmingly. But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you came up with one. I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could. Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady. Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Whoopsie.
Hold it!
I meant to hit press. But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You have to want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners are like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? Bum, bum. Just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. No true Scotsman would open the window. Yes, this is absolutely a no true Scotsman fallacy. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Thank you, Your Honor. Or Your Lord. My Lord. Whatever. Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. No true incendiary bomb? I mean, what if the target was a fire elemental? Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrideb. Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. And I won't have any of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime. Right, well, we'll see about that, but what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrideb's relentless onslaughts. It's almost as though he used it to... He's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. I don't think there's anything gentle about him. No.
Hold it!
Thank you, Pokey. I'm sure the late Roman Emperor Biggest Dickus appreciates that. All right.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with. How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here. Well, him and me both, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about with, you know. She can be fierce. You can believe me. You believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. A situation like this cropped up the other day as well. You know, it's funny. I can't quite remember. I'm sorry. It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blacked out. Helpful. I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf. Oh, absolutely. Don't even go there, Miss Susato. Already did. And I'm honestly kind of inclined to agree with her. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Stupid nose itch.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter my grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top of it, it did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? What? Ah, culture. Was this some kind of devil worship? Of course not! It was an angel cake! To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all of my puff and to blow them out. Well, they must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught, and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I mean you mean a cold. How did you catch a cold from a fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows. The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it, and it put me in the hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about the old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. We need to whoopsie. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the juror statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even if the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions, just connections that might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for the strike.
Objection!
Those two juror statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again. I told you, it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, laddie. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, the room was filled with smoke from a fire. Then you'd be mad not to open the window. Oh, exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadev household. And Mr. Garadev had the following to say about it. The whole place filled up with smoke. I don't remember what I made him sound like, so. Oh, EU5 is out. Oh, it's $75 base game and $105 if you also want launch day DLC. Yeah, I'll pass, thanks. Yeah, seriously. Oof. I'm sorry, Pokey. I know how much you love EU. Oh, my hat. Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Garadeb. Oh, dearie me. What's the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. Well, the jury is out if the new game is good or not. Though content creators that got it pre-release said it's good. Okay. Excuse me. It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did your husband open the window? Well, I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. Well, Pokey, you need to start streaming EU4 then, don't you? You need to stream on a regular basis with some EU4. And honestly, with your knowledge of the game, you could probably do some how-tos and such. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? You're bad at the game, actually? I gotta press X on that one, Pokey. Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continue to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire. Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course. I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was opened. We simply must have that added to Miss Garadeb's formal statement. She's also acknowledged that she's Mr. Garadeb's wife. The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. Yeah, so much X happening right now, Pokey. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadeb told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as well you know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5? You know something. I've remembered what it was. That memory I blocked out. Ah, It was listening to what this granny was saying brought it all flooding back. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I'd just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard of the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck in the wall. Next to me it did, about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was gonna end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When a woman loses their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Mr. Naruhodo, you must be thinking that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like. What? Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant. Alright, we'll come back to that bow and arrow thing later, if I dare.
Hold it!
Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you? That's right, she was chopping meat with it. Had a tidy edge on it, I believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? It started with that smile she threw at me when we were courting. Since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has thrown along with our relationship. There was a cup, then a glass, a pot, then a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe, a cooker, a bathtub. Your wife must be even beefier than you. And things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames. Still, she's not bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really. I'm so happy for you. If you want to know what I think this whole idea of ladies first is that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who'd been tossed in the Thames only a few too many times by their wives. That's a very interesting theory. What a terrible thought. On the face of it, this juror's statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. A. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garadeb's room at the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object beside the book could have found its way from the Garadeb household to the street below. Hey, what's that now? After all, Mrs. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. All right, Mr. Foreman. I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garadeb household to the scene of the crime was...
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb, excuse me. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Ah! Good Lord, counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon! That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window, a window that had been opened to clear the smoke, through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't be serious, You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying it flew out the window and across the street and landed neatly in her hand? Huh? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes. I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh, Bud. My lord! My lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman. I'd have to agree. Not that I think Granny did that mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. We did it? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Alright. I'm going to have to do a quick BRB, give me a few minutes, and I appreciate everybody's patience. All right, I'm back, and I appreciate everybody's patience. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna finish with the summation examination to where it says save, and I'm gonna say yes, and then we're gonna switch games because Strega is going through some stuff, and so she may need me to end stream very quickly. So we're gonna switch to a game that I can just drop out of versus this, which requires trying to retain the events that have happened. So let's go ahead and finish this. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. So it should come up with a save. No, it didn't. Does the prosecution wish to proceed? No. Is the prosecution going to proceed? I hope so. All right. So we're going to. What game should I switch to? No, I'm not switching to EU4. We're not switching to EU4, Pokey. But I do need to switch games to something.